up, everybody? Welcome back after a long break to the RC Dirt Oval podcast. Welcome into all of our new listeners. Tonight, we're joined, as most times, with my friend, your friend, Tim Rothenberger. And beside him in the lavish studios from Rome, Georgia, is none other than Scooter Allison. What's up, gentlemen?
How are you, sir?
I'm doing good.
I'm good.
I'm just trying to work on race cars.
Hey, man, multitasking.
I was doing the same exact thing, but after I saw the camera, I decided I shouldn't rebuild shocks.
Hey, man, do whatever works. So, guys, it's been a while since we've put out an episode. I guess the last one was Scooter. You were on, right?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, cool. Well, I know the last time we recorded, Scooter and myself had not been racing. Tim been racing every night of the week, of course. So Scooter, you got to get out and run. How'd that go?
Yes, I did. We got to go to our regular racetrack that we raced at all last year up at Battlefield RC, and trying some stuff I changed on my car this year. Added a few new components to the car I've been calling the Stepchild. It's a car that Eric and I put together.
Okay.
And so it was really amazing. The car was totally different than anything I've ever driven at that track. Really fast. And we talked last time about setup. I don't have any idea any setup parameters on this car. I bought everything. I know that's not the right way to do it, but with the time that I had to work with it, I just kind of eyeballed everything, threw it on the track, made some really small adjustments, and the car was fast. I ended up winning that night. We had a light crowd, but I ended up winning anyway. So it was a lot of fun. Good night to get out and just kind of play around a little bit.
Yeah, and I saw from some pictures that your son Jack, he won.
Yes, he did. He's always reluctant to go. He wants to race, but then he doesn't want to race. He's kind of nervous.
Right.
So I talked him into racing with me and going, and he raced. He normally races novice, but there wasn't enough novice racers to race the class, so he ran sportsman, which is the class up between my class and his class.
Okay.
And he ended up winning that. So I was really proud of him. He did a good job. He's still learning. You know, I'm trying to coach him along the way, which is kind of fun for me.
Right. That's good.
Yeah.
Just for everybody listening, all six of you, we're doing something different here. We got a little different technology running tonight, and so we have camera running on all three of us. And Tim just got some food delivered to him, and I'm dying to know what Tim got delivered.
What did I get delivered?
Yeah, what is that?
It's just basically a ham and cheese wrap because I can't have bread. So.
Oh.
What's up with the bread, Tim?
What?
Well, what can't you have bread?
I'm doing a keto diet.
Okay.
Yeah, my wife lost almost 100 pounds on it.
Seriously?
And I'm down probably about 35.
Wow.
Yeah, Tim's looking slim and trim when he's at the track.
Man.
I lost, since I came back from this past weekend, I lost another 6 pounds. So
there you go.
The last couple of days I've been fasting.
Awesome.
That's pretty awesome, dude. I lost a lot of weight a couple of years ago, and then I gained it all back.
Yeah, I rubber band. I go down 15, 20 pounds and then I'll put it back on and then go back down. And so I took a trip over to the other side of the bay into Maryland and raced at Minimus. The first time I've ever been over there. And it used to be, I want to say it used to be Linda's Hobbies or something like that. Anyway, they took it over, new people, I guess 2 seasons ago or something, or a year and a half ago. So me and my buddy Billy went over. Tom was supposed to go, but he ended up ditching us for the nightlife. And Mike and Mark Farron run over there. They're kind of Northeast fast guys. Mike used to be in the Midwest. So it was good to go over there, see that track. They run on red clay, but it's a little looser than what you would have in Georgia.
Can't have everything great.
Yeah, you can keep that red clay down there, buddy. I worked in it, and no thanks. I used to go home literally, and I would have to open a garage door, go in the garage, shut the garage door, and then take my boots and my pants off in the garage, and then go in the house because that red clay from the pants would stain the carpet or furniture or anything.
It gets everywhere.
Yeah, that stuff's legit. So, and then this past weekend, the PA Posse, as they've now been nicknamed of the RC world, Tim and Josh and Troy came down to my local track, WNRC, and raced with us and slung some loose dirt for a change for them. So we had a good time. Well, anytime I can beat Tim, it's a real good time. So
you had a fast car, that's for sure.
You want to know something about that fast car, Tim? Can I tell you something you might not believe?
You probably didn't touch it.
I've not touched that car since the shootout. And when I say I've not touched it, I've not even adjusted a shot collar on that car.
That's great.
That car has ran there. It ran the shootout. It ran.
Well, I don't know whose car it is, but they really set it up good.
It ran on the red clay at Minimus, which was, definitely, it was bordering medium to high grip during the mains. I mean, the tires were chirping, and then ran on ultra loose there. And I mean, that car has just worked every time I've put it on the surface. So, yeah.
That's good, man. That's great.
Yeah, I'm thrilled with it. I'm thrilled. So, got some more racing in the works. Hopefully, if they can get it together, there's going to be a flyer coming out for a series that's going to be running at WNRC. Many point series spread over the summer into the fall. So hopefully by the time you hear this recording, if you're in the Northeast, you'll see the flyer out if Tom gets to work. No? Next year.
We're going to just change the date on it. 2020.
Poor Tom.
We love you, Tom.
Yeah. So tonight we're going to talk all about sponsorships, and we were going to try to do this the past couple weeks, and schedules and sicknesses and everything else didn't work out. But I really wanted to get Tim and Scooter because I thought it's such unique perspectives. Scooter being a company owner that sponsors people and also a sponsored racer himself. Tim being a sponsored racer and me being kind of a brand ambassador for companies. So, I don't know if my racing keeps going like it is. You might actually be able to call me a sponsored driver before long.
You got bigger sponsors than both of us.
Yeah, but I'm a brand ambassador, man. It's nothing to do with my driving, but it might change. It might change. So, like I said, we're all going to have, I think, some varying opinions here. So, let's start with, I have a long list of notes. So let's start with the top. What sponsorship is and isn't? So I see Tim just took a bite, so we'll go with Scooter first. This is awesome. What sponsorship is and isn't? Scooter, what do you got, buddy?
I've got some full scale background.
Okay.
That where I race some full scale stuff, and when I got married, I had to drop out of racing for a while, and then as I was getting back into racing, I had to start looking for ways to fund it. If I was going to be able to be competitive and race on a regular basis, I had to start looking for ways to fund my racing. So I started doing a lot of research, and you'd be amazed. There's a lot of information out there. You just have to go look for it about sponsorship and how to acquire it and all that kind of good stuff. So the first thing I really learned is that sponsorship isn't sticking a decal on your car and saying, "Give me free stuff." That's
No?
That's kind of a. I think that's kind of a what people think when they say they're sponsored. They want to
Right.
say, "Okay, I can put a sticker on here, and now I can just go and I can get all this free stuff or discounted stuff or whatever." And it's a lot different than that. It's it's more of a job, really, honestly, than it is just acquiring, goods so you can go play race car.
Right.
So that's what it's not. What is it? It's like I said, it's kind of a job. I mean, I think if you do it right, you will you'll invest a lot of time and a lot of consideration into what you're doing. Um, what do you guys think?
What do you got, Tim?
Well, with a sponsorship, I think that it's a company investing in who you are
Right.
and what you represent in whatever you would happen to be doing, whether it's full size cars or even RC cars or whatever. It's them investing their time and their product to enhance your your program, so to speak,
Right.
your racing program.
Wow, that's really loud, Scooter.
What was loud? What'd I do?
Opening the bag of stuff.
Oh, sorry about that.
That's okay.
I'm labeling bottles for Papa Wheelies.
Oh, all right.
Does it have any of those retro labels?
I need some because I don't have any labels right now. I'm having to use my logo stickers.
Oh, wow. I think sponsorship isn't just getting a hookup on stuff. There's a lot more involved in it. I would say if you are a up and coming driver or a mid tier driver, it's about getting new customers for the company that's representing you, and also providing some support for customers of the company and potential customers of the company. Is that my train, Tim?
Huh?
Was that my train?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, your train's right on time, buddy.
Boom. And
Here it is again.
I think what sponsorship is also, if you are that elite level driver, one of your primary functions is testing and R&D, and providing feedback to the company. But those guys that's the top 1% of what we do.
Right. I mean, and honestly, you look at the big name drivers like off-road guys, especially Ryan Mayfield, Ryan Lutz, Jerry Tebow. Those guys, I mean, that's their living. It's not because they want to go drive a race car and have fun on the weekends. That's what they do to support their family and support their livelihood.
Right.
So it's a little bit different for them, I think, than it is for, I would say, 99% of dirt oval guys that have sponsorship.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, don't be surprised if in the next, with the rapid growth of dirt oval, you don't start seeing that a little more in dirt oval.
I think you might see some of the paid off-road guys cross over. I don't know. I don't know if we'll see any dirt oval only guys really being paid to drive.
Yeah, because a lot of the guys that are in the off-road side of it are also engineers for the companies themselves.
Yeah, I think
when development of the cars.
I think when Mayfield, it was either Mayfield or Rona was really talking about it, and I think they could only list like 4 or 5 guys whose only job is to drive. Yep. And you got Mayfield, Tebow, Cav, and maybe one or two others, maybe like an Ongaro or somebody.
I
But
think Rifkin.
yeah. All right. So you are Joe Blow driver, and you want a sponsorship because I'm going to say this: you want a sponsorship. I hope because you believe in the product and you think that you can represent them well and help the company grow. I hope you're not just going, oh, I want to hook up. So, how do you approach said company? I can tell you how not to approach it, and I'm sure Scooter can too.
What do you think? What are you thinking on that?
Don't you love getting messages, probably especially to your personal page? Hey, can you sponsor me?
Those are the best, man.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I think people are legitimately looking to help someone, but I think a lot of times that person they're wanting to help, it's a mutual thing. I mean, just like anything, it's like I said a minute ago, it's a job. If you go to your regular job, you're going to get paid to spend time there and invest time in the work. I think it's kind of a mutual thing. They want to help, but they really want the benefit on their side as well. And I don't think they think a lot of times how important that is to their part of the equation is to the sponsor or the business that they're endorsing or whatever.
Right.
So I got 6 rules. Can I share those?
Absolutely, man.
Okay, so I got 6 rules before pursuing a given sponsor. Just any sponsor that you may be looking to talk to try to get a discount or get some product from. And this is kind of a takeoff on some stuff that I studied back, several years ago. So it's kind of a conglomeration of that.
Okay.
Rule number 1. This is kind of a big one. Use and like the product you want to endorse before you pursue the sponsorship. And if it's not a product that you would buy to, on your own with your own money without a sponsorship, you probably shouldn't pursue them for that. There was a guy last year that contacted me several times, and he was in a different genre of racing. He wasn't in off-road, and he wasn't in oval, and he wanted to represent Papa Willie's. And I thought it would be a good fit, because I wouldn't mind getting into the area he was in. And so I finally asked the question that I ask everyone, have you used the product? And he said, no, I haven't. So that was kind of a turnoff right there to me. You've got to use the product before you should, be going to someone to get an endorsement. What are you guys' thoughts on that? Tim, what do you think?
Absolutely. I don't think that you should pursue a company that you're not actually interested in using their own product. Absolutely, 100%. It's like, when you were, I think when I touched base, or I think you contacted me originally to try some of your product at Birdsboro, was it not?
Yeah, that's correct.
And, you were pretty, I guess you were pretty much at ground level at that time.
We hadn't really broken out into much yet. I think at the time we'd had a guy race for us at the Chili Bowl 2018, I guess. I don't know. So it was pretty bottom of where we. We were local, but other than that, it wasn't very big.
Yeah, that was a good opportunity for me there to get you some feedback we were racing on concrete at the time with stock mud buses.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I definitely believe that you should don't pursue something just because you can get a break on it if you don't actually believe in their product. It's just not right.
I see, especially first part of the year, I'll see stuff where companies will put on Facebook We're accepting applications for sponsorship. If you want to, you send your whatever to this email address or contact us through Facebook. And that's all well and good, but if you don't already have a working use of the product, I don't think it's the best thing to pursue in that area. And I'm honest about this. Last year or this year actually, I saw where One Up Racing had put on their Facebook page. They're looking for sponsored drivers, and I sent them a message and everything. And I was there thinking, I just want to break on this really cool little soldering iron. And I didn't get the sponsorship, but I bought the soldering iron anyway because I wanted it. And if it's not something you would buy on your own without a sponsorship, I'm not sure it's the right fit for you to endorse it.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
All right. So
let me jump in. Let me jump in on that real quick. I just wanted to say, one of the pitfalls that I've seen with sponsorships is you'll get an up and coming driver or an intermediate driver. It's like, oh, I should be getting sponsorships too. And so they'll just send out mass resumes to everybody who, let's just say speed controllers, right? If somebody makes a speed controller, they're sending them out. And so, they get picked up by a company, but let's say it's a company that they're not running for. Well, now they're in a situation where they have to do a fire sale of all their inventory of speed controllers and go out and buy speed controllers for all their cars. And really, what have they gained, right? Because let's just be honest, right? Let's talk honestly for a minute here. You are that intermediate level driver. Most sponsorship deals that you're going to get to start off with, you're going to be getting anywhere from 15, 20, maybe 30% off of retail price, not street price. So real legitimate numbers off of street price, you're going to end up at 15%. You're saving a little bit, but it's no huge savings. And so by the time you sell all your stuff at used value and you buy all new, you've really lost money just so you can say you're sponsored by Orion or I don't know, whoever's a smaller ESC company. And that's one of the pitfalls I've seen a lot of guys fall into. I see it, start of the year, you'll see the fire sales and then, oh, look what I've bought. So yeah, they really didn't get anything.
And to touch on that as well, a lot of people I think just want to say I'm sponsored.
Right.
It's more like a popularity contest than it is a legitimate opportunity to advance their racing or to help a company with their products. They just want to say, "Hey, I'm sponsored," and look at me. And I don't think that's a healthy avenue to follow either.
Right.
Okay. Rule number 2. You ready for that?
Oh yeah.
Rule number 2. So rule 1 was to use and like the product before you pursue a sponsorship. Rule number 2. Tim Smith said this: you're only a sponsored driver when you're driving the car. The rest of the time, you're a representative for that company. That includes on the track, at the track, away from the track, on social media, or etc. When people contact me, and I would assume this for most smaller RC companies, the first thing I do is look at their social media accounts.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see what kind of person they are when they're not at a racetrack.
Right.
I want to see what kind of stuff they're posting, what kind of stuff they're sharing, what kind of all that kind of stuff. Because ultimately, when we're at the racetrack, it's easy to represent RC car parts.
Right.
But when we're on social media and we're telling people we're sponsored, then you're also representing the company there. It may not be directly, but indirectly you're representing that company, and negative stuff can, fall over onto the company that you're representing, not just yourself. It also carries over to everything else that you're doing as well.
Oh, hey, look, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you this. I got to try to clean it up to not give away too much information. Tim will probably know exactly what I'm talking about. There was a sponsored driver that I know that once I found out he was sponsored by X company, I would no longer buy X company's products because I thought he was such a poor representation of said company. I was like, I can't support that company who has an ambassador going out to tracks acting like he's acting. I just can't do it. I don't care how good of a product they make.
Oh yeah, because I mean you're representing more than just you.
Yeah.
You're representing a bigger thing. That's why I think a lot of times when people say they want to get sponsored, they don't really think about everything that's involved in that. As far as if you look at it from a business standpoint,
absolutely.
They're just looking at it for the discount. That's all they look at it for.
Yeah. And if we're going to do this as a business and we're going to do this professionally, you've got to carry yourself professionally. And whether we like it or not, social media, there's a world on Facebook. We spend hours looking at this screen, following all these people on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, and you're representing everything that you endorse with whatever you're doing on Facebook. So if it's ugly post or using foul language or whatever, it all kind of washes over.
Yep, absolutely.
Which takes me to rule number 3. Again, these are my rules. I just kind of came up with them on my own with a little help from some research. Rule number 3 is to be professional. Proofread your correspondence. Check for grammatical and punctuation errors. Have a legit racing resume that includes more than just your racing highlights, but what you plan to do for the sponsor. Carry yourself well. Wear clean clothes to the track that are appropriate. Just be professional is my rule number 3. What do you guys? You think that's important? Or
no, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're out there, there's a lot of times, and you get in a lot of situations where you get taken out, or you got a guy holding you up, or there's all kinds of situations like that. But how you handle those situations also represents who you are as a person and the companies that you represent. And I highly doubt that if, just knowing Scooter the way I do, if Scooter found out that I lost my lid and started cussing out somebody at the track, I would hope that there would be repercussions for if it got back to him that this happened. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Just as a professional, so to speak. Even though we're all, racing toy cars, at the end of the day, we're all drivers that are, trying to prove a point and represent brands and ourselves.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And one of the things that irks me a little bit, and Alfie, you touched on it just briefly a minute ago, when people send personal, requests to my personal page, and it's not the worst thing in the world to do that, but if a company, whoever it is, whether it be Papa Willie's or Associated or Custom Works or GFRP or ERC or whatever, ask for a resume, you need to produce a legit resume.
Yep.
You need to produce something that is not just typed up in in the message box of your private messenger or whatever. Go sit on your computer for a little bit, open up a Word document, and produce a real legit resume that you're proud of. And it shows your highlights, shows what you're on to, all this kind of stuff. Not just, hey, I race at so many tracks and I need to use your product.
Sure. Sure.
There's just some professionalism to it whenever you present something that's legitimate. Okay, I spent time on this.
Right.
This is what, it's real. It's not just, here's the thoughts off the top of my head.
Yeah. Well, I think Randy Pike even has like an example racer resume on his website, so that guys can see what he looks for. right? So like
Right.
I can tell you like my resume, I go into detail of like the podcast, of like what our listenership is, what our Facebook audience is, what Instagram audience is. I try to paint the picture of what the company can expect to get exposure wise, because ultimately, you know, like we said earlier, we're ambassadors for the company, right? So we have to be getting the company exposure. We have to be trying to support other customers of the company, and so yeah, have your stuff together. I spent probably 3 or 4 hours putting my resume together, just to make sure that it was clear, concise, and professional. Because I might not take my racing super seriously, but I take the podcast extremely serious. So yeah.
Absolutely, because uh, you know, if you are going to apply for a job somewhere,
Right.
and they say send us a resume or whatever, you're going to present with them the best you can as far as paperwork goes for them to look at.
Right.
Um, and yeah, we're just racing RC cars, and we're just we're not racing for money, and there's, when it comes to sponsorship, there's different levels and all that kind of stuff. But if we're going to be professional enough to pursue some assistance, then we need to be professional enough to provide the company with what they want and what they're looking for. And a note on that, if you, I would say that 8 out of 10 people don't do that anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can produce a company some kind of information they can look at ahead of time and say, here's my resume, and it's clean, it's concise, it's spelled properly, you're going to be ahead of the game. You're going to be coming off turns 4 while everybody else is on turn 2.
Right.
Just because you've already taken the time to invest and make it good from the start.
Yep. Absolutely.
I'll keep going here. Rule number 4: have a plan and stick to it. Don't tell your prospective sponsor how many races you're planning to attend unless they ask, because sometimes things happen. If you plan to go to one big race, tell them you're going to that one big race, and then anything else on top of that is icing on the cake. Don't say I'm going to go to 5 big races, or I'm going to race an entire series, and then you let them down because you only raced 2 races or 1 race or whatever. Tell them you're going to race this 1 race. Don't promise something that you cannot deliver on, is basically what I'm trying to say there.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Tim?
That's absolutely 100% right.
That was fun. I always wanted to say that. I always listen to you guys talk, and I always want to get Tim's nothing out of there, but he didn't give me a nothing that time.
No, today I'm actually pretty good. I'm slowly crashing over here, but I'm pretty good today.
Yeah, he'll save his nothing for the end.
Nothing.
That's right.
Yeah,
nothing.
Very nice.
Rule number 5 I've got on here. What makes you stand out? Sponsors aren't always looking for the guy that wins every race. From a sponsor's perspective, winning is a return on interest, but sponsors are more interested in what value you can bring to the team. How are you going to introduce new racing customers to their products? And how are you going to introduce new hobbyists to RC? And what I mean by that is, what makes you stand out when you are at the racetrack, and let's say there's 50 other racers there. What would make an ex-sponsor look at you and say, I like what that person's doing? One thing I thought of, and this is just a little bit crazy, I guess, but during the summer months when it's hot and there's a lot of big races. There was a big score race this past weekend I didn't get to go to, but it was blazing hot in Tennessee. Just a simple idea is to load you a cooler up with some Cokes. Just get you about 4 or 5 12-packs of Coke and just load up the cooler, and then have free Cokes for people, on behalf of whatever your sponsor is, whether it be, DE or Shark Bodies or whatever. Shark Bodies wants to give you a free cold drink to cool you down. And it goes a long way. people see that and they think about that and they're like, wow, that's one more little thing that they're doing that all I want, I just want product, but this guy's going above and beyond. That's what sponsors are going to see you doing and watch how you interact with other people on their behalf.
Yeah. I think one thing, this falls back a little bit on what we said earlier about really believing in the company, right? Like if you really believe in the company and you're connected with the company, you don't mind going that extra mile. I know there's a guy who's a Tekin driver. Can't remember where he's from. He posted a picture the other day of a beautiful Easy Up that's done up in Tekin. And everybody was like, man, where did you get that? And he's like, I got it made myself, you know? And I was like, oh man, okay, check this guy out. He's taken the initiative and gone out and, you can't go to a track now if he's there and not just be bombarded by Tekin. I think that's impressive. And it stands out. And he's absolutely given that company a ton of exposure with that.
And a good point, and a true life point. One of our drivers, Sean Ganung, who also drives for MKS, at the Chili Bowl this year, Dustin was giving away a car to help. It was a young man who was the brother of one of the soccer players on his team.
Yep. And
Sean purchased a servo with his discount, obviously.
Right.
Purchased the servo with his money and on behalf of MKS gave it to Dustin.
Yep.
That right there is, that's huge. That's going above and beyond just saying, hey, if you'll give me a discount, I'll put your sticker on my car.
Right.
Stuff like that stands out.
Oh yeah, for sure. And once you start to get some exposure and people get to know you drive for X company, I've found that it's good to, try to carry some spare stuff. So like in my pit box, I have a spare MKS servo sitting, just if somebody needs it, it's there. I have a spare Tekin ESC. Somebody needs it, it's there. Those are mine that I've paid for with my money, but as a representative of that company, it's there, and it's a good way to be an ambassador. Same thing with Papa Willie's. If somebody needs, hey, how can I help get some traction? Here, let me hit those tires real quick. All those little things play a part on helping the company get a return on its investment of the discount or the free, equipment you got.
Exactly. I'll brag on Sean a little bit more. He's a fireman up where he lives, but I see on his RC Fun Time page all the time he's going out in the community and he's introducing RC racing to a lot of kids and stuff in his community. And he's doing it under the guise of, he's a fireman and he's doing it as like a public service thing, but he's actually, he's involving kids into this hobby that we love and we invest in, and they see it there and then they follow him and see where he's going with his racing stuff. All that stuff makes a difference.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
When someone, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to say for any of the listeners who like Facebook Live and all that stuff, go check out Sean at it's RC Fun Time, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Go check him out. And one thing I want to brag on him. This was not planned. I want to brag on him. He has done such a great job of working with kids and making that known. I know there's some other places that say they do a lot to help for, kids, and I never see how they're helping these kids. But Sean does a great job of that, and go check his Facebook page out and give it a like and follow him, and watch out for falling stuff. Apparently it's getting real in here.
I can't touch anything without there being some noise on my side. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
No, you can't. That's why I'm just sitting here.
Yeah.
Man, borrowed my son's headphones and it's just noisy.
Yep.
Okay, last rule.
Hell yeah.
Don't overpromise. But what you do produce well. Don't go and say that you're going to go out and win every race for the company. That's not going to happen.
All right.
You can't win every single time you go to the racetrack. Don't say that you're going to get every one of your friends to use their product.
Right.
That's just not going to happen. You're going to have some people who they like using the speed control they have, or they like using the servos that they use. But what you can promise, the simple stuff, go overboard with that. Produce bigger and do it well. Do it good. Don't just kind of like half-heartedly do it. Go overboard with stuff that you can produce on it, and make sure that you do a good job with it.
There you go.
There you go. That's my 6 rules.
Short,
when I'm
straight to the point.
when I'm looking into to pursue a new sponsor, I kind of remind myself of those things.
Yeah.
And when people contact me about representing Papa Willie's, I kind of look at these things as well, and like, where are they at on that?
Right.
Because sponsorship's more than just a sticker. It's a job. It's a lot of work involved.
Absolutely, man. All right, so we got little bit of Facebook interaction. Keith Holt, where was the Invisible Man scooter? He was on the roster to race at the Score race.
Yes, I was on the roster. I don't know how I got on there. What he's referring to is the Southeast Clay Oval Racing Series Score. It's the series that tours here in the Southeast. And this past weekend, Memorial Day weekend, they were at Smoky Mountain Raceway in Knoxville, Tennessee. And on Sunday, I found out that I had been at the track and I had raced 4 hours away. I didn't know I could do that. I did not finish last. That was the most amazing part. I did not finish last, but I was not even there. So I don't know how that happened.
That's pretty impressive.
But I'm impressed with myself.
Yeah, I would say. All right, so our buddy J Rod, he's got a couple of things on here, and I didn't even think that dude dirt ovaled anymore. I thought he was drag racing, but so he wants to know how we can grow the hobby. Well, that's something we've beat to death on this podcast. And guys, we're growing the hobby, right? Like dirt oval's growing, companies are jumping in. Jason Rona, it's growing. I think the bigger question everybody needs to ask themselves right now is how can we cultivate the growth to make sure that they stick around? That's what our focus needs to be on. And then if we can start doing that, then we can start looking at some things like the RCGP, to kind of up the game and take it a little step further. So yeah, I'm afraid, I don't know if that's a double-edged question because he goes on to ask basically, are sponsorships a good thing or a bad thing? So, Tim, it's my understanding from people I've talked to that sponsorships are really rampant in off-road. Like you can go at an off-road track and there's far more people sponsored than are not sponsored. That's been your experience? So dirt oval is not quite there yet. The picture I've been painted of off-road doesn't sound healthy to me as far as sponsorships. Basically, where in that scenario, I'm going to say everybody is a contracted customer. Chassis deals, everything is very prevalent. And I don't think that's healthy. The hobby shops are getting hurt. I hope Dirt Oval doesn't. I hope with our growth, Dirt Oval doesn't turn into that. I'm going to say on their own, sponsorships are neither good nor bad. They just are. It's the people that are associated with them. People like to brag about them, which creates jealousy and nastiness.
No.
What?
Well,
No.
that doesn't create jealousy. I've never seen that.
Come
ever.
on, Tim. Come on, Tim.
Anyways, not to throw you off.
Oh, no, buddy. You don't throw me off. I'm laser focused anymore. I've got that heart rate that you have on the driver's stand, buddy. I got you so messed up now. You're going and you're bringing multiple cars to the track and pulling out all kinds of stuff. Mm-hmm.
I did this past weekend. It's a good thing it wasn't serious. Right?
Oh, okay. We'll see in a couple weeks. All right. Sorry, that was a mini rant. Scooter, what do you?
He's been holding that in.
I have been.
He's been wanting to go on a rampage, but he knows since he's only ever beat me on his home track, he's
Oh, but wait a second. Oh, well, no. Don't give me that home track advantage crap. You've raced there as much as I have. You were there for the.
Yeah, that is. You only go out there.
That's right.
That is true.
Y'all should just be glad that I live way down here in Georgia, because I'd whoop y'all stills every time we went to the track.
Man, you'd be so lost on a loose dirt track.
Hey, man, that's what I grew up on. That was the thing.
Yeah, it's changed a lot, buddy. You get rid of those slick tires and lowering kits, and you
would like it up here.
Oh, you would.
I would.
On my home track, it grooves up pretty good.
I would love to come there and race with you guys.
We're gonna make it happen.
We gotta work that.
True loose dirt tracks, and I'll be the first one to admit to it. So you might as well just record right now, Alfie. True loose dirt tracks are my kryptonite.
Awesome.
So I mean, I struggle a little bit, but I do get around.
Oh yeah. Oh, you're hey man. You were there contending, buddy. I mean, I knew you were there. I knew you were there so much that when Tom got around me and I heard Adam go, the order is Tom, Alfie, Tim. Where the heck did Tom come from?
That's exactly what I said. I saw Tom coming. I'm thinking, are you serious?
Yeah.
Where's Tom coming from?
So, and it
usually, Tom's usually fast, but he can't string together 50 laps. So, he strung together 50 laps.
My brother did. Hats off to Tom, man. I want to say that publicly on the podcast. He did good, and he's a contender.
How'd the podcast assassin do?
Oh man, we don't want to talk about that.
Was he there?
Dude, he was the one that took Moser out that one time.
Oh. No, just all of our hooligan buddies.
Yeah. Scooter, what do you got to say about J-Rod's questions, comments?
I don't remember what the question was.
Are sponsorships good or bad, and how do we grow?
I don't think they're good, and I don't think they're bad. I think it goes down to if we'll eliminate the mindset that it's a popularity contest and we're there to do something for a company. I think if we would look at it like that instead of looking at the concept of what can I get, I think it would be a better situation.
Absolutely.
And
should be what can I give?
Yeah. What was it Kennedy said? Ask not what this country can do for you, but ask what you can do for the country. We I don't know. We expect so much for so little.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's not just a sponsorship situation. I think that's just the culture that we live in right now.
Oh yeah.
And not to get preachy and all, but I think we expect so much, but we don't want to give but just a little bit of what we can.
Right.
So I don't think the sponsorships are a bad thing. But they can be bad.
Mm-hmm.
And if it goes like you guys are talking about in off-road, where everyone's sponsored and then that hurts the hobby shop. It hurts the racetrack. It hurts the industry as a whole. I wish that some companies, the bigger companies, instead of sponsoring so many racers, they would put some of that money into advertisement of their races. instead of sponsoring 30 separate people in one region, then put some money into the advertisement for a big race that will go out, in the billboards and the TV and radio advertising. I mean, everything. I know that stuff costs money, but that's what would grow the hobby, is if we can get it in front of people.
Yep.
Instead of just keeping it as a little subculture of our own thing. One of the things when I was talking a minute ago about what you can do for the sponsor, I see some tracks that are going out of the border, and they'll go to a full scale track and set up a display.
Fastlane just did it out of Kansas City.
Yeah, that's what we need to be doing to grow the hobby. We need to get it in front of people who don't know it exists.
Right.
And I think that sponsorship is, sponsors are there to help the racers. The racers are there to grow the hobby.
Yep.
It's not the sponsor's job to grow the hobby.
Yeah, Bumps and Jumps actually did that too. They went up to I can't remember if it was Williams Grove or Port Royal.
Yeah.
I think it was Williams Grove.
Yeah, I remember them going. I don't remember which track.
No. It was Baps.
It was Baps, yep.
It was Baps. And then at the break in between, they were actually running the cars on the front stretch.
Yep.
Alfie, where was it you told me they had a display set up somewhere, and then the top 4 or 5 drivers in whatever class it was were going to race the RC cars on the front straight to determine starting positions?
That was Fastlane. So instead of doing a chip draw, I think it was the top 8 had to go out on the front stretch and run, 5-10 laps. And where they finished was the starting order for the feature.
Oh, that'd be pretty cool.
Oh my gosh, that would be awesome.
That's getting it in front of people. And there's some people out there who they're going to see an RC car, and it don't matter if you show it to them in depth and take it apart in front of them. It's still going to be a Walmart car to them.
Right.
But there's some people out there that that doesn't know that my Southern redneck came into play, that doesn't know this exists, and they'll be fascinated by it. I mean, I found out about racing RC cars by looking at magazines at the grocery store when I was 11 years old.
Right.
And if I hadn't had that chance encounter while my parents were shopping for groceries, I would have never known this even existed.
For sure. I think I want to hit on something, and I got 2 points I want to make real quick. I think Ryan Mayfield said it really well. How we have to market this is the accessibility of it all to people. You're not just going to go walk in and jump in a World of Outlaw late model or World of Outlaw sprint and go race it. But, for $500, you can be out racing, a car that's highly adjustable, highly customizable, and 100% way safer than, its full-size counterpart. And that's how it needs to be marketed, is its accessibility. And in regards to sponsorships, I think sponsored or you're not sponsored, but even if you want to be sponsored, start by treating your track as if you were sponsored by them. So promote the snot out of them. Let everybody know, that's how we grow it is, represent that track like you own it. That's the first thing you ought to be thinking about that you're sponsored by is your track, and represent it like that.
Yeah, I agree with that, because right now in 2019, we have more accessibility to mass media than we've ever had. And we can post, tracks can post results, we can post pictures, we can represent our sponsors, and we can do all this great stuff, but we can also, with, just a few clicks with our thumb, we can destroy all that.
Oh, yeah.
So simply, and getting on social media or whatever and complaining about this or that or whatever. It's just, it's the negativity is what destroys it. positivity will help it grow. At least that's my thoughts anyway.
No, you're right.
I know that much. I'm just joking.
Oh, okay. All right. So we hit your rules, and your rules covered the better part of our show notes.
Yeah, I took over, didn't I? I didn't mean to do that.
No, man, that's good. It's good. So I got a couple things that I want to hit on, and I would, if you guys want to chime in on any of this.
This is where we get in trouble.
How'd you know, man? How'd you know?
I see. I know you.
You heard that timbre in my voice change just a little bit.
Yep.
Okay, so, sponsorships.
You can start wrenching again.
Yeah, sponsorships are good. Okay, I just want to say that. Let me get that out of the way. I like them. I think.
Now he's gonna have to edit that
off.
I know. Now you completely throw him off.
Yeah.
You needed to get those bottles out, though.
I'm just gonna wait till you're finished.
Sorry, Alfie.
It's okay. That's okay. I'm gonna need some of them bottles sometimes, man. Mine are getting worn out. I still got the OG bottles.
I had that's what I have. I still have the OG bottle.
Yeah.
But this past week, since we're first week that we could run compound finally.
Oh yeah, congratulations. That's right.
Everybody was stealing my bottle.
Oh, okay.
Nobody had any.
Oh, check that out.
So everybody got to try some Pop Willies this past weekend.
That's right.
Awesome.
I know Carrie's getting some from us when we get I guess you sent a shipment out to Josh.
That's what I'm working on right now. I've been waiting all week for the labels to come in, and they haven't come in yet, so I'm having to use these logo stickers on the bottles.
Oh, well, that's a good thing to know. Then I'll just make sure I take more with me because Carrie's going to ask me about it.
So, anyway, sorry, Alfie. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. It's you guys go ahead, man. This is nice. Tim's actually talking, so I'm just going to sit back for a while. All right. This is how I think we can prevent Dirt Oval from turning into what Off-Road has with sponsorships. You really want to be sponsored? Put yourself together in a manner with your social media, with your public image at the track, off the track, on social media, and with your racing. Carry yourself in such a manner that companies approach you. Like if you really want to be a legit sponsored guy or girl and not a contracted customer, have the companies approach you.
Not just companies, fellow racers.
Yeah, absolutely.
You should be approachable.
Absolutely.
Even though you're a sponsored driver and, whatever, you should be approachable too.
But yeah, no, you're 100% right, man. I mean, they need to be able to come to you and talk to you and get help or whatever. But in my mind, when we're talking sponsored drivers, not sponsored drivers, the ones that get approached by companies of like, hey, would you be willing to run my stuff? That's the ones in my mind that I classify as a truly sponsored driver.
Right.
The next thing is, I say all that. The funny thing is the elite drivers, the guys that are like, locks for a main Chili Bowl, they are the least sponsored guys of all the racers that I know. So that ought to tell people who live in this realm of, I got to get sponsored. Sponsorships are great. It's not the end all be all. You're not going to go one day I'm not sponsored, the next day you're sponsored, and instantly get respect, instantly whatever you think getting a sponsorship is going to give you on top of a discount, it's not going to come. It's not It's not the silver bullet. It's not this magic pill that's going to change everything for you. And I've seen a ton of guys have that attitude that it is. So you know, look at a Nathan Dean. I know he represents Power Products, but the guy that could probably have them. Whose is that? Whose cat?
Mine.
Oh, okay, cool.
She's outside the door.
Oh, she wants to come say hi. So the next thing is, this is just a truth about sponsorships, in my opinion, that you don't hear a lot of people talk about. I like working with companies that are more like family than you're a number. And I have both, right? I have the ones, and I'm not just saying this because you're on here. I have the ones like Scooter of like, you know, Scooter messages me. I message Scooter. Hey, how's it going? Have you been racing? And not like ever in a like, oh, you better get out there and push my product. You know, it's just more of, it's relational. And then I have the other ones where I simply have a login, you know, to my account, and I log in and buy my stuff and make sure I don't go over my quarterly quota and never hear a peep, never hear a word. You know, and those are okay, but I like the ones much better where it is very relational. And then this one ties back into my days being active in the music scene. The final thing is support. That to me should be the biggest thing that a company can offer the racer, is the support. The discount should be second to the support. We'll take example, last year when I went out to the King of Kansas City series, I didn't have a car at that point in time to run. So even though I'm technically not a sponsored driver or a team guy for GFRP, I have a relationship with those guys. And so they sent me a house car. They were like, hey, you're going out. You know, we kind of know that surface. We're going to send you a house car to run. And, you know, so it was support. And so then I was like, well, crap, I don't want to take tire sauce on an airplane. So I reached out to Scooter and I was like, hey, man, do you got any team guys that are going to be out there so that I don't have to carry tire sauce on a plane? And you're like, yeah, you know, Shane Wheeler's going to be there, this, that, and the other. So I messaged Shane and I was like, hey, Shane, look, can I get some tire sauce from you? And he was like, heck yeah, of course, man. You know, help yourself. And, you know, those are the types of things. Or, you know, you got you know, let's say you got the Chili Bowl coming up and, you know, you need extra motors or something. You know, they're going to say, hey, you know, we got the Chili Bowl coming up. We want to make sure you have everything you need. That's where a sponsor to me really benefits. And if you want a sponsorship, find a company that's going to be relational with you and not just a login in a database.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think for Dirt Oval, it's a lot easier to find those in Dirt Oval than it is in the other segments of RC, because we are kind of a niche,
right?
And we aren't as big, and sometimes we borrow from our off-road cousins, you know, with our chassis and whatever.
Yeah.
You know, and the same thing is true with me, you know, with Eric. If I need something from Eric, I just send him a message, and Eric at ERC.
Mm-hmm.
and say, hey, this is what I'm thinking about. This is what I'm needing, and if it works out where he can help me, he does. And that's an awesome point, because there's some companies are just a discount, and that's good. It's nice to have that, and I still represent those companies with the same fervor as I do the relational ones.
Mm-hmm.
But the relational ones are, it's kind of like you touched on. It's kind of like family.
Yeah.
And you're able to work with those people, and you get their feedback, and you're able to give feedback, and it seems more intimate than, okay, I logged in and I bought my X part, whatever, and I get my shipping discount or my customer discount or whatever.
Right.
When you can actually talk to somebody and get some one-on-one time, that makes a huge difference.
Oh, for sure. And it's I'll use these guys as an example. So the TQ Bodies and Wraps, Tom and Adam, they've they've made EDM bodies. Of course, they do all the wraps. They've made some different sprint wings, different sprint wing mounts, and Tim and I have gotten to try those. And we always are like, well, we like this, we don't like that. And I know with Adam, if I have an idea, I'm like, hey, Adam, I got this crazy idea to try this on a body. And he's like, yeah, I think that would work. Let me try to get that, drawn up and cut. And, or, no, that's a stupid idea. What are you thinking? And, that's worth a lot. And, I'll say this, right? And this is just, we're going to tear down the fourth wall just for a second. And I'll be honest. There's a lot of guys that have seen me, that know me, and he's sponsored this, that, and the other. And if I go to a track, especially not my home track, there's expectations, right? Yes. Placed on me. And I've had, over the course of time, I've gone to some tracks and I've had some equipment issues. And it wasn't with really anything that I'm sponsored by, but it was in that moment where I was like, I've come here, there's expectations placed on me. I'm having equipment failure or equipment technical problems. And I don't even have any support to be able to really go, okay, how can we get this solved? And, in that moment, I was like, man, so now I've let down myself. I've let down my other sponsors, because now I'm sitting here not racing. And, so I can't even go, yeah, look at that Tekin motor. It works really good. No, it's sitting on the bench. Check it out. It's great when it's cold, Yeah. So I don't want people to think that I'm like anti-sponsorship. I think it's good. I think if you're an up and coming driver, a young guy, or age doesn't matter, but if you're up and coming and you're like, yeah, I want to take this serious and I want to be, legit. Yeah, absolutely. Get a good resume together. Approach the companies in a very professional manner, create some relationships, and, work at it. We've talked about him a little bit in this episode. Tim Smith is the perfect example. He got on a mission years ago when, I think it was when he got hurt in his motorcycle wreck, that he was going to get sponsorships and actually get paid to do this stuff. And, he put his head down and busted his butt and got to that point. And so, it is possible. Let's just not let it become the negative nastiness of, oh, I'm sponsored and you're not. And, oh, look at this, I got this deal. And, if anybody follows my Instagram, my hashtag has been, make RC fun again. And we've let some of this business side of it takes some of the fun away. And be professional. Don't be nasty. Don't be prideful. Don't be bragging. We got a saying around my house. It's not bragging if you can do it, right? If you think you're faster, go out and win. Just that simple. What you got, Tim? Oh,
Nothing.
Man, he didn't even say a word. He's just
I
silent.
know.
It is. I was watching. Sorry, I'm listening to you, but I was also watching this guy used a drone to take out a hornet's nest. That was entertaining.
Okay. All right. Yeah, so I didn't get us in that much trouble this time, Tim. I didn't say Mud Boss was a beginner's class.
I was just gonna say you didn't say anything about Mud Boss.
Okay.
Can't say anything nice. Don't say anything at all.
Can I just ask you a question? Can I ask you a question, Tim? Yeah, I'm talking to you right now.
Go ahead, buddy.
Have you ever seen a guy come to the track who's racing already? So they have a charger, they have some batteries, this, that, and the other, and who wants to move up out of a beginner intermediate class, but can't afford it, not be able to move up?
Have I ever seen him not move up? Is that what you're asking me?
Okay, so let me rephrase this question. Let me rephrase this statement.
That was a horrible.
Yes, I know.
Did you get that, Scooter?
I think I know where he's going.
He knows where I'm going. So I've seen a lot of people say that they like.
Oh, you can't.
They like Mud Boss because they can't afford to move up. It's cheap.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
It's really not,
dude.
The amount of parts that you're constantly replacing in motors.
I just saw the other day an Outlaw 3 full slider, body kit, everything with spare parts. Might have even had tires and wheels with it for like $250 shipped. Right? Yeah, you got to get a speed controller. You got to get a motor. But I'm going to flip this to the other side. I know at my track, WNRC, and with the hooligans that I run with, if there was a guy who legitimately wanted to move up and could not afford, we would chip in and get him a car. Point blank.
Well, that's John.
Yeah.
I mean, not John. John can afford to do it. The thing was, John is not necessarily. He's frugal with his money, so he won't just go spend $1,000 on a new chassis. Right. Well, with the Plan B car, Josh and him worked it out that we were able to get him the sprint roller. I had a Gen 2 ESC laying around that I gave him with a 17.5 brand new Gen 2 Spec R motor that I had given him too.
Right.
Just to get him running, a sprint car. Well, that came around full circle. Now I have it.
Yes, I just wanted to say that. I'm not buying that, man. I think if you really wanted to move out of a stock / class, I think you could find a way. I really do.
It's pretty simple. You got to pay to play.
Yeah, I just don't think it's that much more money. I really don't. I mean, I really don't.
Man, you were going to avoid Mud Boss the entire show, and you just had to go there.
I can't, man. I can't do it.
See, Scooter, he can't avoid Mud Boss.
I can't talk an hour about Dirt Oval and not bring up Mud Boss. My head would explode.
For the record, I think Mud Boss is a great class.
Yeah.
But I think also that don't get stuck in that one dimension. I think that if you've got a track that races more than one class, you should be trying to advance yourself and your driving abilities, however that may work out for you.
Mm-hmm.
So no hate on the Mud Boss, but at some point you gotta. Can we edit this part out?
I was just gonna say, can we edit that whole last section out? Like where as soon as you started at Mud Boss, edit that all out.
No way, man. I'm leaving it in. I am leaving it in. Scooter likes Mud Boss.
I don't like cars without fenders.
Oh, here we go.
Any car without a fender, that's not something I'm
Oh,
Hey,
I want to see
Scooter. I'm sorry, he just dropped the notch in my book.
I want to see fenders on all these cars. I mean, you got fenderless. You got wingless Sprints, and we got fenderless late models. I mean, why can't we just have more fenders? Fenders are.
I'll tell you what, if it makes you feel better, I'll make fenders for my sprint car.
Make fenders for the Sprint. Make fenders for the modified.
Hey, I want to run y'all. I want to run something by you guys real quick, and then we're going to wrap this up. So Minimus, the track I was talking about earlier, they're starting a sportsman class, and I haven't even fully read this yet, so it might be a crazy idea, but let's see. The idea of sportsman class is to allow a driver to improve their driving to the point where they can race in their corresponding class. Okay, so they're starting this class, and basically, if you have a sprint car, if you have a street stock, if you have a SC mod, you're all in one class together as a sportsman class, right? So it's sprints, it's all those on a track at the same time. If a racer in a sportsman's class qualifies with laps that are greater than 80% rounded up of the TQ in the corresponding class, they will be removed from the sportsman and asked to re-register for the corresponding class.
I know Pit Stop does that with off-road.
Really? How's it work?
They do. If you're they run sportsman for them, I'm pretty sure, don't hold me to this, is pretty much like any car, run what you brung. But then you're forced to move up if you do so well after so long.
Yeah, I know we've talked a lot about how you can kind of like police people from sandbagging in a class, and I saw that 80% thing thrown around, and I was like, something like that might work. I don't know. It's interesting. I like to see them trying something,
We have something similar at some of the tracks we race at down here with our short course late model class. We also have the short course late model sportsman class, which is what I was telling you earlier. Jack had won this past weekend or weekend before last. And it's basically the same car, same motor as what we consider a super late model. But the difference is the driver's ability to go fast or whatever. And I think the rule that we have at Battlefield is if you're within a half a second of the kind of the core of the super class, you have to move up, something like that. So it's it's good, I guess. If you get one guy out there that goes and wins every week in the novice class, I mean, that's not fair.
Right. Yeah, that's what Tim does. Oh. He wins the novice class every week.
No, I just sandbag in the heat.
Oh, okay. I'll be giving away all your secrets. All right. Well, we've talked about mud bosses. We've talked about sportsman beginner classes. We've touched on all the sore subjects. We've talked sponsorships.
We've watched
anything else, guys?
We've watched Scooter prep Papa Willie's bottles. Spin that wrench on the end of his MIP for. It's Scooter's like me. He's got to have something in his hands.
Here's my slick. You like that?
I do like that.
No. No, tires need treads, not slicks.
That's right there's a fast tire.
Yeah.
Slicks are for drag racing.
For what?
Drag racing.
Okay. Wait, I got those too. Look out there. Look at that. Nobody can see what we're talking about. I'm showing pictures and stuff.
I know.
Top
Yep.
secret.
Yep. Top secret. All right, guys. Anybody got anything before we wrap up?
When you say if you got anything, how in depth are we going to go with anything?
Well, we've been recording for an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah, but the No Name podcast goes for 4 hours.
Well, they can do that. He's from Dominican, so
Oh yeah.
different. Time works different over there.
Well.
Oh yeah.
So hey,
yeah.
What about, just real quick, since it just happened, what about that race up in Nebraska where J Concept sponsored it?
Yeah, I think it's awesome. It wasn't loose dirt.
No, it was great.
No,
it was perfect.
It's perfect.
They didn't need those tires they were using. They should have ran slicks.
Yeah, I think they could have. No, I think it was good, man. Rona picked up the 40+ win, and the Panda pretty much swept everything else. It would be it'd be interesting next year to see if it grows and to see if any of the other bigger name drivers go. I know Eddie Hill was there, but I think Eddie Hill and Max,
Rob.
Yeah, the Wolfman.
Yeah.
I really think that was about it for like upper tier drivers. I hope I'm not forgetting anybody. If I am, I'm sorry. Send the hate mail to Tim Rothenberger.
You want to give him my email address while you at it?
Yeah. No, I think we lost Scooter. Yeah, no, I think it was good. I think it was good to see Jason putting out new products, restock body, late model body. Yeah. Tim, what do you think?
Oh, I think it was great. I wish I would have been able to go.
Yeah.
I forgot that
Nebraska.
Big fifth scale races this week too.
Oh yeah, the World Championship.
Yeah, Lou Ciccone had asked me to go to that.
Oh, is he going to it?
Yeah, he's there.
Awesome. Awesome.
Jay Badorf, Lance Badorf, his other son, is down there.
All right. Well, we have officially lost Scooter. He's frozen now. We're staring at a frozen image of Scooter. So, Tim, you got anything else, buddy?
No, sir.
All right. So, Scooter would like to thank ERC, Team Tactical, Shark Bodies, and probably some others. Others. Tim, you got anybody you want to thank?
I got Wagner Heating and Cooling, RC Aero FX. I'm going to forget somebody. Matt Bridges and Punched RC.
Yeah.
He's a good dude. I got Tom and Adam over at TQ Bodies, podcast here. It's been helping. MKS.
Oh, yeah.
Hang on, where's my car? Oh, yeah, and Joe Carlson over at TCR Custom RC. He's got to stop changing his name so I don't have to keep remembering what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need some new modern looking 410 headers. Those are pretty sweet.
Okay. Devil Juice. Yeah. So I want to thank Papa Willie's and of course Adam and Tom, TQ Bodies and Wraps. Dustin and the entire GFRP 57 design guys, MKS, Tekin, Proline. I don't have a car here. Oh, you know what I want to thank, man? I want to thank my son, Kian, for the amazing pictures he's been taking.
Yeah, he does an excellent job on that.
Yeah, man, he's really into it. So he's given me tons of stuff to post on social media now.
I do know next time I'm going to have to pay him to make sure he gets a bunch of those number 5s so that you just have to scroll through number 5s for a couple of days.
Dang. Yeah, so if you like pictures, make sure you follow us on Instagram. I'm going to start trying to really get content up there. So yeah, he's rocking it. If I forgot anybody, sorry guys. We're a little rusty. I think we'll be back next week. Tentative plan is right now we're going to have
We forgot about Papa Willie's.
I said Papa Willie's.
I forgot about Scooter and he was on the show.
Yeah, I know, man.
Aye.
You dropped.
It goes my sponsorship.
Yep. So I think next week we're going to have the man himself, Jason Rona, on. We can recap the Nebraska Hobbyplex and talk about the late model and street stock and all that good dirt oval goodness coming from J Concepts. I think it's going to be good to hear his take on getting a run. I know he answered a little bit on social media, but I really want to get his perspective on that. Yeah, so it's going to be good. Follow us on Facebook. Tim and I post stuff, race reports, and goodness like that. Make sure you go give Papa Willie's a like. And I think, Tim, that's it, but unless you got something else.
No, sir.
No, sir. Cool. All right, guys. Well, as always, you can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/RC Dirt Oval. You're listening to us, so you obviously found us here. Make sure you share it with your friends. I know that sounds trivial, but seriously, we just gained a ton of new listeners like 2 weeks ago. It was so bizarre. So make sure people know about it. We're going to try to keep the content rolling and have some fun. And thank you guys for sharing it, for the awesome reviews. And until next time, that's a wrap.